Feng Shui. So as we continue on, we're going into some quick tips. First thing, becoming aware of the surrounding environment. So again, a lot of times people think Feng Shui is just for the inside. To a certain degree, yes, but in modern day practices, we're blending the two worlds of the exterior with the interior all the time. So whatever is on the outside of any building or any home, no matter how big or small, whatever you're observing on the front of the house, the side, the back, that's all going to be influencing the energy. The easiest takeaway for right now is if you have an environment, if you don't live in suburbia or upstate New York or wherever you are that has a lot of greenery, forest, and mountains, the next best thing would be to live in a building or a neighborhood that is taking precedence on planting trees, creating parks, making it very accessible to maybe the waterfront, whether through the view of the building or through walking or biking. So if you have that, which this building does, that's excellent, because you have these little portals, if you will, of what we call negative ions. And these negative ions are very good because they're supporting the chemistry of your body to feel more grounded, less stressed, less anxiety, and this is scientifically proven. So you can Google this and check it out. And the other way you can observe a healthy surrounding is with the wildlife. Again, the more parks we have, a cleaner environment we're going to have, and the more wildlife we're going to be inviting, such as with little squirrels and birds to build their nests, and other wonderful insects and creatures such as our bees and our butterflies. So all these things are very helpful to supporting your energy at the end of the day. And you can contribute to that maybe by starting even a community garden, for example. So a lot of things you can do here. This is just a quick list of local parks that are surrounding the Skyline Tower. So as you can see, if you did a full 360, if you will, around the entire building, it's only 18-minute walk. And then you also have the Hudson River, I believe, on the other side. So you have a lot of options to play here and to get outside. So the next tip is to declutter and organize. This is really helpful whether you're moving in, you're just moving in, or you're already situated and you're getting more grounded. So simply put, to organize your home, especially with many of us now working from home and school is just about getting ready to start, it's a good idea that everything has its place. If you don't need it, use it, love it. It's recommended that you release it, donate it, maybe pass it on to another family member or friend, anything like that. Because when you have a space, and especially if we're spending more time inside, that is organized, you're gonna have more calmness, more peacefulness within your mind, and your emotions will be more balanced and harmonized as well. So that's the easiest first step that you can take, is just become more structured with the home's purpose and function. And it also helps you prioritize what is important in your life on a mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical level. Let the outside in. So the building has lots of natural light, which is great. So just the fact alone, by allowing the outside in, this can also provide very great, wonderful healing energy. And the fact that this building is set up high, you're able to see with uninstructed views. And so what that symbolizes in Feng Shui is seeing, simply put, wonderful, amazing opportunities. And what are those opportunities? Well, that depends on your personal intentions. So if you have clear intentions for example, your career, for your love life, if you have children, what's the intentions for them, family dynamics, and we'll go over that a little bit later. But again, it's a great thing if you have nothing blocking your view, okay? And it also, from a grander stand or perspective, is saying that you have what we call a commanding position. And we do talk about that with furniture, but in this case, it's saying that if you can see out clearly, then you'll be able to be more decisive with opportunities that are truly meant to be in your favor versus maybe someone or something trying to take advantage of you. So that would be the deeper metaphor or symbolism for why we don't want anything obstructing our view. And then we got into furniture arrangement. So the simple takeaway here is, as mentioned, not every piece of furniture has to have a bevel curved around edges to bring in Shen, Qi, or good energy. However, majority of the pieces that you know you'll be walking around or you'll be sleeping by or working by, such as a desk, you do want to make sure those edges are curved so you don't have any what we call sha energy or sharp cutting energy pointing toward you. So in general, with furniture arrangement, look at the design of it. Rounded curve is ideal. Second is make sure when you set up the furniture, as you see in this photo, that it is not going to block your walking path. It's very practical and simple, yet it doesn't, I still get people who do this. So just make sure that you can easily navigate around it, because that will become the symbolism of you being able to easily navigate life. So again, everything in the home, including the furniture arrangement, will relate to a metaphor or a storyline that's happening in your life. And the last thing for the furniture is, as you can see with how this couch is set up, is make sure that if able to, that you can set key pieces of furniture up, which would be the couch, just keeping it simple right now, and the bed, to have a solid wall behind it. And this is the metaphor of having a mountain at your back for support and for protection. Next one is include real plants. This is a very easy one, and I know sometimes people say, I don't have a green thumb. You can definitely have a green thumb, and I'm giving you a list of very easy plants to take care of. So why do we want plants inside the home? Because again, it's letting the outside in. So we have that type of dynamic play. And then also plants in Feng Shui equal life force energy. So we have energy everywhere, but anytime we can actually adopt a real element into our home, such as a little fern, or I gave you a whole list over here, snake plants, succulents, rubber plant, bamboo, peace lily. These are all very hardy plants. They're very hard to kill. If you can adopt the real element into your home, it's even better, okay? So this element of plants would also be referred to as the wood element out of the 5 elements theory. So wood element is anything relating to plants, flowers that are real, growing, living, thriving energies. Now, what if you cannot do a real plant? The next level down, and it's still good, is you can do a fake plant, an artificial plant. And if you do that, whether it's going to be real or fake, you want to make sure that the leaves are still following that principle of nothing sharp, pointy, or prickly. And so what that means is anything that's rounded or curved, because that relates to a plant that is approachable, and that also relates to an energy that is approachable. And when you're selecting your plants, even pay attention to the size of them. If you have a big room and it allows for a decent sized plant, by all means go for it. If it's a smaller room, you'll have to get most likely a medium-sized plant or a smaller plant. So it's a minor detail, but it still can play a role in a type of story of what's going on. So for example, if you have a plant that is too big and it's not fitting the spatial dynamic of that room, if you have too many plants or too big of a plant, that can create a feeling of being overwhelmed. Yes, it's common sense, but again, sometimes we're so busy with life, we're not even realizing it. And depending on where that plant is located within your home, whether it's the front door, maybe it's in the career area or the wealth or the partnership area, that plant could actually be speaking to the relationship dynamics that are unfolding within those scenarios of life. So we have that. And now we get to artwork. So artwork can be a great contributor to the energy of the home, but you still have to pay attention to some very important details. So again, pay attention to your intention for why you're choosing a piece of artwork. I recommend that you don't just choose something to choose something, and instead you become very conscious of your intention. And then we'll go over a little bit later the Bagua map. You can overlap the area of the Bagua map or the Gua and relation to the subject matter of the artwork. And that can create a different type of synergy of energy with what it is that you're cultivating and calling in to manifest within your life. So in general, make sure whatever piece of artwork, and artwork can be 2D, it could be 3D sculptures, it can be tapestry, it could be photography. Make sure whatever you choose is emotionally inspirational and or supportive to you. Or just keep it simple. Do you love what you see? Are you enjoying the visuals that you have? Or when you look at them, do they create a tenseness or some other negative level emotion to bubble up? If that's the case, we don't want that. And that also includes if somebody has gifted you something. Yes, they may have done it either out of gratitude, or sometimes people give gifts out of guilt, whatever. Either way, if you really don't love something, just like what we were talking about with the decluttering, what you could do with that, if they gift you a piece of artwork, you can simply gift it away. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's your call. But either way, make sure whatever you bring into your house visually or sculpturally is going to be supportive and you love or really, really enjoy and like seeing that. Or in other words, what brings joy to your heart for that. Images, when in doubt, images of nature is a great option. Landscapes, seascapes, images of animals. If you do artwork of animals, it's good to really pay attention to let's say, the inner nature of that animal. You know, for example, maybe we have 2 lions or something like that, a lioness and a lion. If they're calm and they're together, wonderful. If they're fighting, no. Okay. So just using that very common sense example, but it's important. And then what about family photos? Yes, you can also include family photos, but again, pay attention to the dynamic relationships of your family members. Just because they're family doesn't necessarily mean you have to put them up on the wall or frame them. So that's up to you. I know for me, what I tend to do is I mix in symbolism that will represent family. So get to know your family, get to know that symbolic language. And if you don't want to have the traditional photo of a family member, you can switch it to a symbol. And pets count as well. They're your family. Fish, dogs, cats, all that good stuff. The kitchen. Kitchen is a very important area, a very busy place. I know it's become a very busy place in my own home. So with that said, some quick tips here. First and foremost, as it becomes busy, make it a habit to organize the counters, keep the sink clean, the dishwasher clean. This is important, again, especially depending on where the kitchen is going to be located within your home environment. And then a really great way to add in a quick splash of color, but also a great sign of abundance, prosperity, great health, would be a little bowl of fruits. Traditionally, we would have oranges. The amount of oranges would be at least 9. 9 is a divine number of completion. It's the highest frequency you can go. Or it can be, again, a bowl of fruit, apples, oranges, lemons, limes, you know, different type of variety. So either way, it's a great visual component in the kitchen, and symbolically, energetically, from a Feng Shui perspective, it can be quite helpful and powerful at the same time. And for the bedroom, always want to address our bedrooms. These are some key takeaways. Ideally, we want a solid headboard. The type of material could be upholstered or traditional wooden solid headboard. Ideally, we try to stay away from the metal, because if you do bring, let's say, a TV into the bedroom, which again, we don't really recommend that as well, because it gives off negative electromagnetic frequency energies from artificially man-made appliances. If you have a metal platform bed or more so the headboard, that electricity, that current can travel through and hit into the bed and then potentially affect you. Scientifically, has this been proven? Not sure, honestly. However, I know for myself, with my own experience, I sleep better with a wooden headboard and no TV in the bedroom. So that's up for you. If you want a TV in the bedroom, then maybe try to figure out a way where you can conceal it or shut it down. Some people might use armoires, all different things, but ideally no TVs in the bedroom. 2 side tables, if possible, for balance. It also relates to male and female energy. At nighttime, if you're gonna have curtains, pull them closed so you can help contain the energy, and it also keeps out all the light pollution, if you will. And during the day, open it up. So it creates this yin-yang exchange of energy to refresh and contain. And then if you can, have an area rug around the bed or within the bedroom itself. This also helps to ground the energy. When we talk about yin-yang principles, we can also talk about them through texture. Walls, for example, they'll be hard, so that relates to male energy or yang energy, and anything that has a soft, we'll say curved design even, will relate to female energy or feeling more grounded. So it creates that balance and that connection to both worlds, if you will. And then this is optional. If you feel that you're having a little problem sleeping or some trouble, you can use some lavender essential oil. Not a lot, just a little. And either that can be in a diffuser, or it could be just put on your wrist or on your palms, inhale, and just allow yourself to rest with that. So I always like to use some lavender. Now here we have what I was referring to before is the Bagua Map. So this Bagua Map has been created by Professor Lin Yun, and again, he was accredited to introducing Feng Shui to America. And what he's decided to do is, instead of using the compass, this does not follow the actual directions. He said, what we're gonna do is look at the shape of the building, the shape of that individual room, the perimeter makeup of it, and we're going to superimpose this 9 gridded box over the entire floor plan, and that will begin to help tell a story of what's going on in these different areas of the home, how this correlates to what's happening in the client's lifestyle, and what type of adjustments can be made to help enhance the energy and align it with the client's intentions. And so there are a few ingredients before we start to overlap this Bagua that we want to be mindful of. Embedded into this Western Bagua, we still have the tradition of yin-yang principles. We still have the tradition of the 5 elements. And we also follow what's called the trigrams. They're not listed here, but they're definitely embedded into the symbolic representation of it. And so once you become familiar with those ingredients, along with shapes and colors and subject matter, you can now overlap the areas. So for today, I'm just going to show you a simple way in how you can overlap the Bagua Map onto the ideal shape of a perimeter of apartment that either is of a rectangle or a square shape. And the reason we look for those type of shapes is because it relates to wholeness. So here we go. First, we locate the front door. And how we do this, yes, I see the map, the floor plan is upside down, but there's a reason for that. The way we do this is we locate the actual front door, in this case for this apartment, and we hold that map, that floor plan, at our belly. So this is pretending as if we're doing it. And then on the other screen, you'll see the actual Bagua Map with the grids, and we hold that at our stomach. And that begins to show us, okay, this is how we're just beginning to set up the situation of superimposing. And so once we've located that, we've arranged our 2 pieces of paper, then we divide up the entire floor plan, this entire unit, into 9 equal boxes as evenly as possible. Some people might want to use circles. It's totally up to you. And once you have those boxes lined up, looks like a giant tic-tac-toe board, then you can list all the different areas. So just looking at the comparison, in the bedroom, we have wealth, and you can see that's been listed also on the Bagua Map. And then next to it is reputation. Next to that is partnership in the furthest back right-hand corner. The center is always health. And then to the left of that, we have family. To the right of that, we have children creativity. And then we go down to the next tier and we have career at the bottom center box. To the bottom left, we have wisdom. And then to the bottom right, helpful people and travel. So this is a very easy way in how to begin to navigate the Western style of Feng Shui using the Bagua Map and superimposing it over your space. So once you do that, what do you do with this information? To begin, you just start to observe where are all these different areas lined up. So let's say, for example, I have career in my kitchen. And that's why I was saying before in the previous slides of tips that wherever these areas are, you want to be very conscious of that because they will take on a symbolic representation, which in this case is career. So let's say if we had a very messy kitchen, just using one of those base principles of keeping things organized, and you feel like your career is overwhelming, it's a bit chaotic, or you have no clear direction, that could be the representation that is being illustrated right now within the kitchen itself. Or let's say if we move into the center of your home, which is health. In this case, it's labeled as the living dining room area. Again, keeping it simple. If that area is chaotic and it's weighed down with all your children's toys and nothing's organized, that energy can easily penetrate or spread into the other areas. Because if the heart of the home, also known as health, or the center of the home, is not balanced or calm or having a flexibility of the two worlds, it makes it very easy for the inner person to be off-tilted. So again, these are just some quick tips just to help you navigate your way, introduce yourself into the world of Feng Shui. And if you have any questions, because I know this is just a very basic introduction, I'm available. My website is fengshuimanhattan.com. My name is Laura Cerrano, and I'm a certified Feng Shui expert. So thank you everybody for watching, and I wish you all the best as you proceed forward.